Good morning, viewers. Welcome to another broadcast day at WBOR, the easy viewing, easy listening station. We begin our broadcast with the Binky the Clown Show. Have a nice day.
Hey, kids! Get your lazy bottoms out of bed and do jumping jacks with Binky the Clown! 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
What am I doing?
Remember, kids, if you don't exercise with Binky, you're gonna grow up to be worthless!
I hate you, Binky.
This is a night
This is the night
I was created for. I'm gonna put on my best disguise and go knocking on everybody's door. This is the night
This is the night
I'm gonna hit the street. 'Cause this is the night folks are giving away so many good things to eat. Oh, people, you know life could be so sweet if every night was a night to go trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
Welcome, para listeners, to Geek Salad episode 241. It's the Headless Horseman, Charlie Brown. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
Oh, okay, yep. Line! And you took a while. I didn't know if you could remember your line or not. That's usually when you call for line. Sorry, I've been in a lot of rehearsals lately.
Mine.
No, just internet lag, dude.
Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. So anyway, folks, happy Halloween. This is our annual Halloween episode. So straight off the bat, I do want to apologize to all of our fans and listeners that we have been kind of on a sporadic recording schedule. It is all my fault, as I am currently immersed in the magic of the live stage. And have been- yes, the theater, pretty much since the beginning of the year. And I think we're right now going to focus away from the 3-week recording schedule that we've kind of been maintaining over the course of like 200 plus episodes, more to a once a month thing for the time being. Eventually this will come back to a normal thing. So we appreciate your patience. We appreciate you staying with us.
It depends on how often you get cast, Andy.
Well, that's true too. And I just actually got cast in a huge role, as in January I'll be playing Nostradamus in Something Rotten.
Ooh.
I am like Michael Corleone in The Godfather Part 3, when I said after I did Something Rotten last year, it's like, I think maybe I'm kind of aged out of musicals. There's really not a whole lot there. I tend to get like comedic non-singing side things. I think I'm done with musicals. And then Nana La Mancha happened and they pulled me back in.
So you're like John Wick then.
Yeah, pretty much, except I have no dead dogs to speak of, fortunately.
Or wives.
Or wives.
Or
yeah,
wives that
exactly.
the dogs, wives that the dogs stand in for, yeah.
And I do not have a wanton disregard for human life, as I have just watched all 4 of those movies, and my God, life is meaningless in those movies.
You don't?
In the John Wick universe, yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
You don't?
Yeah. So
Wow.
Well,
so yeah, Joe, if you haven't watched it yet, John Wick 4, just hit stars.
The people that he kills kind of suck, though. So
Yeah, no, they all kind of suck, but it's crazy. What's that?
Yeah, I was just going to reiterate what Katherine says. Yeah, these are not good people that are getting offed. So,
Right, exactly. But that's not what we're talking about tonight, folks. We are talking about Halloween. It is that annual time of year when we remind you that you don't really like pumpkin spice. You like cinnamon, cloves, and allspice.
oh yeah.
And we
Yeah,
all
And
no,
we
I had
also
somebody-
have to remind you. What's that?
we all hate candy.
Oh,
corn.
I was. Yeah, candy corn is not candy, and it's not corn. And somebody
hate it,
was
but
trying
you
to
eat it
call me out
anyways.
as being a
Right.
basic bitch, pumpkin spice drinking.
Yep.
peanut butter and chocolate loving it. I was like, no.
Yes, we're also here to remind you, stop making hating candy corn part of your personality. And also, the McBoo is back without the plastic lids. So we just wanted to, throw some more toilet paper and flaming bags of poop on the doorstep before we get going here.
A what?
The
McBoo.
What?
Never heard of this.
The McBoo is the Happy Meal in the little trick-or-treat pail.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
dear. I was going to say,
you
show notes.
you people with children will have to tell us about this.
We had McBoos when we were children,
been around
Catherine.
for decades. We had
And then
them
they
when we
went
were
away.
kids,
Now they're
Catherine.
back.
Oh, that plastic pail thing?
Well,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
well, maybe you wealthy people did.
Oh God, how much was a Happy
Bourgeoisie.
Meal back? Yeah, okay, yeah, I see your point. Yep. For me, it was just a dad's way of winning the love of his children by, having us on Friday night, taking us to
Yeah,
McDonald's.
it was my mom's way. It was my mom's way of saying I am not cooking after being at the VA for 12 hours.
Right, exactly. Joe, virtual glass clink, because you feel me here.
Oh, I know you. I'm with you there, Andy.
Yeah, no. My father is an accountant, and so rather than getting his children 2 separate 9-piece chicken McNuggets, he would get us a 20-piece chicken McNuggets and have us split it, and we each got 10.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
I thought you were going to say he got us a 20-piece and just made us fight for it. Let us fight
exactly.
for it.
God, no.
Are you not entertained?
He takes a pool cue and breaks it in half over his knee and throws you each a half.
Oh God, no. My father is a Christian accountant Star Wars lover.
And
So is Andy, and he'd do that.
yeah, exactly. Well, wait, I'm not a Christian.
Oh, well, close enough.
Don't tell your godchild that.
Yeah, either of them. Who, by the way, are both born. They have the same birthdays. But they don't need to know that. I think we need to move on now because we're already getting towards.
Let's move on to that most Christian of holidays, Halloween.
Yes, All Hallows Eve. So tonight we are actually doing something a little different. The original plan. Well, first of all, the original plan was going to be we're going to do the movies of 1993, but due to a whole bunch of stuff, that's our November episode. So we are going to do our Halloween episode tonight. Originally, the plan was to talk about the Stephen King books that were turned into movies and TV, but Catherine's coworker Kevin happened upon mine and Mike's discussion of something on our YouTube channel's Retro Review and mentioned animated horror. So when Katherine reminded me that he had mentioned this, I thought it would be a great idea because, first of all, I think we can all get involved with this. Katherine, do you want to go into a little more detail about Kevin's thoughts with this?
Well, first of all, so he often puts you guys on when he's bathing the children.
Oh,
Okay.
And he proposed the idea of doing animated Halloween specials and movies that were not Tim Burton.
Okay. And
which eliminates a lot.
No, it only, honestly, Mike, looking at the list, it really only eliminated 3. One of which, let's be honest, we're talking about that in the next episode. It's a movie of 1993.
That is true.
And can I be real with y'all? Can I shoot with you?
Are you going to turn the chair around and sit, straddle it like a youth pastor? Let's get real for a second.
But
let me wrap with
But
you
unlike
here.
that, it's the Benedict Cumberbatch cool toilet.
Okay.
Google that if you don't know what I'm talking about. But
I know what
anyway,
you're talking about.
I just, it's one of those things. It's like Tim Burton is so synonymous with Halloween. It's like, haven't we talked about this enough? Can't we lend some oxygen to other things
Right?
So that's, and I fully appreciate that. Not to say that they're not going to be name dropped in this, only because social media feedback, but we'll get to that.
Right.
So anyway, Kevin, I hope you're enjoying that. I know you like to listen to us while you're taking care of all the dad chores. So thank you, and I'll promise not to fucking swear. So
He has 3 children under 5.
fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
When they're the most impressionable.
It's like that thing that John Oliver had when
Like a
he
mommy and
went
daddy
back to the UK to visit, and he had his 2-year-old son with him, and he goes into the store, and his son's just like, hi, 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 and the shopkeeper says, he's a happy little cunt, isn't he? He's like, yes, he is. He's also very impressionable, and that word means something completely different where we live.
He might have this on his earpods.
Yes, please. Earpod
Please do.
advisory. Yes, please. Earpod advisory. So anyway, let's crack open a cold glass of social media feedback here. And I'm going to start, actually, I got a Facebook message from a friend of the show, Matt Jones, who always has great ideas for his thoughts on topics and whatnot. So first off, he's going to mention one which is on our list, and I think we can just park it here for a few minutes and talk about It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Each year the Great Pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that he thinks is the most sincere. He's got to pick this one. He's got to. I don't see how a pumpkin patch can be more sincere than this one. You can look all around and there's not a sign of hypocrisy. Nothing but sincerity as far as the eye can see.
I would have been surprised if it didn't make the list because it's ubiquitous with Halloween since it came out.
Exactly. It is the Intercontinental Champion of Charlie Brown holiday specials.
And Linus never saw the Great Pumpkin because he didn't offer a blood sacrifice.
That's true.
I thought that was common knowledge.
It's so interesting because I remember watching Great Pumpkin as a kid and being so confused. I'm talking like when I was like 6 or 7, being so confused by the World War I stuff, the Snoopy stuff, where he's shot down behind enemy lines, and it's this completely separate. It's a B story to everything else that's going on. Actually, let's be honest, it's a C story because I think the Halloween party is the B story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's, I mean, I enjoy this one a lot. Not as much. It doesn't warm my heart the same way that a Charlie Brown Christmas does. But this is still it's still an annual view for us. What are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's become so ubiquitous. It's like,
yeah,
it's really is like the start of the Halloween. Yeah, no, don't according to my sister, it's October 1st is the start of Halloween, but
no.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
No, really?
Yeah, it's not something I like. I put on regularly.
Okay,
but it's one that when I do remember watching it and enjoying it. So, I mean, I enjoyed most of the Peanut specials.
Yeah, I mean, it's for us. It's like, well, don't make me tell you the entire tale of why the Peanuts are special to me and my wife. But it's just one of those things.
Oh, I know why they are.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
And I think I've told this story countless times on this podcast, so I don't think I need to continue telling that story. But yeah, it's a sweet, it's a fun story. It feels a little more episodic than, or like that, kind of like how the comic strips are versus a Charlie Brown Christmas, which actually does have like a true through story through the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I enjoy it a lot. It's just weird how everybody changes like costumes like 3 times. And I really want to know, what did the entire town agree at a town meeting that they were going to give Charlie Brown nothing but rocks?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like, why? How did entire town turn to bully one little boy?
Seriously, his dad's the barber of that town too, and I'm expecting that after he comes home with a bag full of rocks, his dad's going all Sweeney Todd on all of them.
No shit, all the time.
Yeah, Dan, you want a shave? All right, yeah, I'll give you the shave, the closest you've ever had.
Hating on him because he doesn't know how to wield scissors because he's 5 or whatever.
Oh my God, yeah, 5. Seriously. When I was a lad, we'd have to be extra nice to those kids, and it's like,
yeah, I don't know. It's like, I can understand, like, from Charlie Brown's perspective, like, yeah, oh, woe was me, okay, how many problems can a 5-year-old really have? But to have it compounded by the entire time, it's like, you know what? Okay, I see where you're coming from, Charlie Brown. I'm surprised you haven't been psycho.
Right, exactly. The local townsfolk have turned on this child.
Yeah.
For no discernible reason whatsoever.
The one thing that drives me nuts as well, being a parent, is just like, it's like 3 a.m. and the Van Pelt parents don't realize that Linus is not in his bed and is in a pumpkin patch, not on their property.
Right.
They don't really seem like the most attentive parents in general.
Well, if everything that came out of their mouth was wah, 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 then I don't know. I'd probably not listen to them either.
Mm.
Anything else we have to say about It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown? Other than the blood sacrifice, Mike. We know about the blood sacrifice.
Well, yeah, obviously. Everyone knows about that.
I absolutely have one more thing to say.
Yes.
I blame this for our litigious society. Because Sally stays with Linus in the pumpkin patch, and there is no great pumpkin, and she is mad that she missed tricks and treats, and she goes, I'll sue!
Right, but she was led there under false pretenses, though. It's not like, I can't believe that old lady didn't know her coffee was too hot. That woman suffered 3rd-degree burns. No, Sally was in every right to be litigious about that because she was led there under false pretenses.
Okay, there's a whole big story about the woman that got burned, but anyway, yes. we'll get on that on like another episode, which we will never do. But yes. There's actual grounds for that. Haha, coffee joke. Anyway, yes. So Sally declaring that she's gonna sue over the fact that she believed Linus, whom she's desperately in love with, and she's going to sue over the fact that she missed tricks or treats when, her parents should hopefully make sure she gets enough candy.
Right.
Despite the fact that she was hanging out with Linus in the cabbage in the pumpkin patch all night.
Yeah. If I were Linus, I'd be giving her all that candy that Lucy got for me as being the blockhead brother of, sitting in a pumpkin patch waiting for the great pumpkin.
Mm.
But yeah, the last one of the as an adult, the time that I watched It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and I saw her yell, I'll sue. I'm like, that is why we live in a litigious society. It's all Sally's fault for being like, something didn't go my way, I'm gonna sue.
She's the original Karen.
Yep.
Huh?
She's the original Karen.
Check out that hairdo.
Yep. Oh, God.
Bob.
All right. Well, let's move on to another one of Matt's picks. Matt also says, I remember the 1949 Disney's Legend of Sleepy Hollow scaring the crap out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what? I have to agree with Matt on this one, because I remember when I first saw it, I think I just moved to the mainland, and I was like 8 years old, and I watched it, and it scared the shit out of me. I was like, this is not a cartoon.
Yeah, I don't remember much about the Mr. Toad part of that movie, but the Sleepy Hollow and Headless Horseman, I definitely remember.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
honestly,
who shows a cartoon about a flaming, a headless horseman throwing around a flaming pumpkin to a child?
Well, keeping in mind too, these cartoons, their primary audience was children back in 1949, post-war children. So, hey, they were just lucky. They weren't getting any more of those terrible like Saludos Amigos and Make Mine Music and Melody Time.
That's true.
Compilation movies. This time they actually got two halves of a movie, which. The weird thing about that is, so I probably saw Legend of Sleepy Hollow at some point as a child on like The Wonderful World of Disney. It was so hard to come by, like through home video, that the most recent time I've seen it, which was the first time in probably over 40 years I'd seen it, was when it finally no, actually, oh shoot, this was right before Disney Plus. We had to rent it because we were on our mission to watch every Disney animated movie. So we got we'll watch The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and The Adventures of Mr. Toad.
Okay.
But yeah, this was a weird one too because you don't expect this version of Ichabod Crane, first off, to be an absolute peahound. Seriously, this Ichabod fucks. It's between that, he's just like, well, if you're at 1949 standards, I mean, he's very lusty, and he's also kind of a prick.
Okay. Yeah, I could see him being a, he's definitely like a school teacher that you don't approve of that shows up in Prince Edward Island and Anne of Green Gables.
That's exactly. And this was voiced by Bing Crosby, so I'm just glad that, he wasn't abusing children at the same time.
Nah, I think he was into adult women.
No, Bing Crosby also was a
No. He beat his kids, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beat him with a sack of Valencia oranges.
I shouldn't laugh, but I do because it's just the fact that it had to be Valencia oranges.
Sorry, I'm mixing up Bing with somebody else.
What are these, mandarins? Go get me some Valencia. I got to beat you with those too. Forget these oranges wrong.
Yeah, I remember watching Sleepy Hollow on the Disney Channel because this was a regular every year during Halloween on the Disney Channel.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
When it first, like 82, 83, 84.
We were poor. We couldn't afford the Disney Channel. It was part of the upper tier cable channel.
I think some kind teacher recorded it and played it for us at school.
Here, kids, enjoy your nightmares.
Copyright laws.
Oh yeah, he's scary.
And
it is, but it is funny how scary it is, though, because it is really dark, and it's that whole thing, and the fact that it's just Ichabod is never seen again.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, because it's heavily implied that, at least in the, I guess in the original book that that real asshole guy was kind of behind the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he never gets his comeuppance. So it's like, guess what, kids? Ichabod's dead and evil wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
the problem
right.
is,
my God, I can't remember.
Go ahead,
I've forgotten that I read that. Yeah, no, I completely forgot that we read that in school. Like, long after I'd read the, seen the Disney, we read that in school. And I was like, oh, yep, there it is. That's definitely where Disney got it from.
Yeah, that guy always just, I'm just gonna call him Casper Van Dyne because Tim Burton. All right, we ready to move on to another one of Matt's picks here?
Yep.
Okay, now
Sure thing.
this one did not show up in our list. Matt says there was also a Saturday morning cartoon around 1980 or so called Drac Pack that I loved.
Oh, yeah. It was an Australian-produced Hanna-Barbera show.
Okay. Matt writes, I believe it was Hanna-Barbera, but I might be wrong. The premise was a couple of teenagers who were descended from various Hollywood monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, and Wolfman, who could transform into those monsters and become superheroes. They would fight crime in general and also be against a cadre of evil monsters. I don't think it lasted more than one season, but it was fantastic. And whenever they needed advice, they would turn to the actual Count Dracula, who was kind of their advisor, Master Splinter, man in chair type. So I told Matt this might become my next rabbit hole. And the playlist of all 20 episodes is on YouTube, and I watched one of them. Oh boy, it did not hold up.
No, it does not. It does
No
not
shock.
hold up at all.
But the thing is, most Hanna-Barbera of that era doesn't hold up. It's all. I mean, it's the same type of thing. They went on the cheap. They cut corners. They reuse a lot of animation, and it's just like it's sure the release date was 1980, but that animation was probably completed in the late 70s.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was rough. It was really rough. None of the especially for like young Dracula, it's like the voice didn't match at all. Like he really kind of sounded like a kind of sounded like Fred from the original run of Scooby-Doo. It might have been Fred for Scooby-Doo for all I know. But oof, Matt, I'm really interested in you messaging me and letting me know what your thoughts are on that, because wow. Wow. It just wasn't great.
Yeah, I've never heard of this before.
Oh, Joe. Oh, Mike. You need to at least dip your toe in the water.
Well, I'm sure I will.
At least watch like the opening sequence.
Oh,
like the opening
the beauty
title.
of Hanna-Barbera is every opening sequence is exposition. Yeah, exactly. 20 episodes with no continuity. That's really all you could ask for. All right, so let's move over to the artist formerly known as Twitter, where you can find us at Geek Salad Radio. And let me pull this up real quick. Oh, geez, I just got this verification thing on here. I have to check everything that is a speaker. Okay, the buzz, the thing. Kevin McCarthy, no. Okay. Oh, Kevin McCarthy again. Nope, not going to do that. Timely humor. So anyway, let's check out a few of these. So our first comes from Opinionated Lushes at opinionated_lushes, and they bring up Paranorman.
Meet Norman.
Can't you be like other kids your age?
His parents don't get him.
He's probably up there fiddling with his Ouija or his orb.
Harry.
His sister doesn't like him.
You are such a loser.
And the kids at school
Look, it's Abnorman.
always pick on him. But he does have some friends.
Norman, wait up. I like to be alone. So do I. Let's do it together.
It's just that most of them
Good morning.
aren't exactly alive.
How's it hanging?
Haven't heard that one before.
Do you see ghosts like all the time? Who's a good boy? That's not his chin.
Anyone watch this one?
Nope.
Sounds familiar.
I've heard of it. I definitely know of it, but I've never watched it.
It came
I
out like
watched it, but I watched it, but it barely registers.
Okay. It came out in 2012. It's from Leica. And we're probably gonna park on one Leica movie in particular later on. But from everything I've heard, it's good. I don't think I've ever seen it. But I think it's also based on a Neil Gaiman story as well.
Oh. Well, Leica in general make really quality movies that never make any money. So
right. Well, also with some of these movies too. I mean, this kind of falls in the same category as like the Box Trolls, where it's like, yes, it's Leica. I know it's going to be quality, but do I really want to watch it?
Yeah, it's got some voice talent too. Anna Kendrick, Casey Affleck, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, John Goodman, Alex Borstein, Tempest Bledsoe.
Yeah, that is quality.
I mean, honestly, I think the biggest issue I have with the movie is that I always mix it up with Monster House, which came out like 6 years before.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monster House. I remember.
Okay.
It actually did pretty well. I mean, it had a budget of $60 million and made $107 million, so it was a moneymaker.
Yeah, it made back its budget and a little bit of its production, its marketing costs. But okay, well, thank you, Opinionated Luscious. Now let's move on to our good friend Laurel from the Sleep and Sorcery Folklore and Fantasy podcast at Sleep Sorcery. Laurel's also one half of the dynamic duo of Derek and Laurel from the Midnight Myth. And Laurel went a different way with this. She went with fantasy bordering on horror faves. So her first pick is The Black Cauldron, and Laurel, I will admit, The Horn King is terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotta give her that. I gotta give her that one.
It's absolutely terrifying. We did a full review of this with our friend Tom Green a few years ago, and it's honestly, while the movie itself isn't great and a terrible representation of the books, I like this version of the Horn King a hell of a lot better than what we got in the books.
Yeah, and John Hurt's voice doesn't hurt at all.
Right.
Yeah, well, no.
My, such a brave and handsome group. A pig boy, a scullery maid, and a broken-down minstrel. Perhaps it may interest you to see what fate has in store for you. Now I call on my army of the dead. The Cauldron Born. Arise, my messengers of death. Our time has arrived.
Laurel also brings up The Princess and the Goblin. Now, I'm not familiar with this. Is anybody familiar with this one?
I've heard of it.
It sounds familiar.
I'm pulling it up. Princess and the Goblin.
1991.
Yep. Okay. All right. You know what? I remember this only because I remember it being like one of those things that would sit on, it was a Suncoast white clamshell soap drink.
Yep, there we go.
Yep. I mean, a lot of like British and international stars: Claire Bloom, Joss Ackland, Roy Kinnear, Rick Mayall.
Wow.
I'm not familiar with this one. I don't know. It was Filmation.
Well, I'm seeing, it's clearly based on a book, and the cover art on like one of these looks very familiar to me.
Yeah.
I don't think I read it, but I think it smacks of Scholastic Book Fair, and I'm like, I don't think I own that one, but it looks like something I almost bought.
Yep. God,
come on, some of my favorite books from childhood were Scholastic Book Fair.
My son just did his Scholastic Book Fair, and it's so much different than what we used to have. We used to like get the order form and 6 weeks later be reminded what books we bought, sight unseen.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, I this one might be worth a go, Laurel. I'm familiar with it in the sense of I am picturing the cover of the VHS, but no, might be worth checking on. I'm gonna go on IMDb real quick and see where it's. It is not streaming anywhere.
That shocking.
Wow. No, honestly, I mean, I think a lot of those Filmation though, and a lot of those like those direct to DVD or direct to home video Don Bluth movies, I don't know if they ever found a home anywhere to stream. I wouldn't be shocked if I were to go back to that in like a month or two and see it on Tubi or Pluto. So, and finally, we've got Dissect That Horror at Dissect That Film, and they actually have quite a few here, and some we're going to land on. The first one we already kind of discussed a little bit, which was Monster House, which I hate to say is kind of in my idiot brain gets confused a lot with Paranorman, which is also on their list.
We'll be back tomorrow night. Well, if anything happens, call the police and hide in your closet.
He knows that.
Have fun with the sinner.
Okay. Now listen up. I control the TV, the stereo, and the phone. I'm not your mother. I'm not your friend.
Fine.
Every town has a legend.
There's something going on at that house.
Every street has a story.
I'll go ding-dong ditch the house, and you'll see. No ghost! Chatter, stop, please! Chatter, I'm serious.
Every house
Chatter, come back!
has a secret.
The house is alive!
They do bring up two of the Tim Burton movies because I was not as explicit in my directions on Twitter. It's not like anybody listens to me anyway. But Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie, both are stop motion. I want to say they're both Leica as well. I know Corpse Bride is. I'm not 100% sure. No, Frankenweenie is not because Frankenweenie is directly out of Disney Animation.
Yes, that's true. That one I remember.
So, they also bring up Hotel Transylvania.
For centuries, they've lived in the shadows. But there is one place where monsters can finally rest in peace.
Sir, we have an urgent plumbing issue.
Plumbing?
There is a clogged toilet in room 348.
It's okay, we all get stomach aches, Mr. Bigfoot. Welcome to Hotel Transylvania.
Do not disturb.
Do not disturb. Do not disturb.
Human free since 1898.
Which I don't know how Adam Sandler managed to convince somebody to pay for his vacation to Transylvania and bring all his best friends with him, but here we are.
I hate to admit it, but I enjoy Hotel Transylvania.
I think I haven't seen anything beyond the first movie, and I thought the first movie was actually okay. Okay for my highfalutin taste in animation. Honestly, my favorite gag in that is one of my. It's such a Dracula trope, that whole blah 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 type of trope, and the whole thing is that he's always like, "I don't say blah blah." But I thought that was really clever. I love Andy Samberg, so I'm willing to cut him all the slack in the world for anything. And overall, I think it's fun.
Well, that's really
more fun than those Addams Family animated movies. Oh my god!
Oh god, those did the Addams Family a disservice.
Yes, they did.
And the thing is, I'm willing to give Oscar Isaac a lot of leeway, but no, not on that one.
Not for that. Yeah, we've been for obvious reasons, because my wife has been cast as Morticia in the Addams Family musical. we've been watching. We just watched the 1991 movie, and this weekend we're gonna watch Family Values, which, for the sequel to a movie that was really really good, it just vastly surpasses its original.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love Family Values.
Yeah, it knew what to play to its strengths with.
Exactly.
Yep.
But back to the animated. Yeah, the only clever thing about those Addams Family animated movies was at the end of the first movie, they actually reproduced the entire TV opening credit sequence at the end in animation, and that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we did Hotel Transylvania. Next one, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Warner Brothers Family Entertainment cracks open the Scooby Files with Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. It's Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and the gang in an all-new feature-length animated movie.
Ghost pirates, ghost soldiers, what's next?
Zombies?
This time, it's no bad guy in a mask. This is the ultimate scary showdown.
If they want haunted, they come to the right place.
Featuring a soundtrack so hot, it'll give you goosebumps.
We're not looking for ghoul friends, right, Scoob?
Scooby and Shaggy are in for a close encounter of the spookiest kind.
It was just a bunch of bats, Scoob.
Grab your ghoul repellent and get ready for Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, because this time the monsters are real.
Now, Mike, I know you wrote this down on the list.
I did.
I knew it was you, Fredo. Talk to me a little bit about this, because anybody who's known me for any period of time knows that my definition of hate begins and ends with Scooby-Doo.
I believe this one was 1998, if I had to guess. And from what I recall, it was like the first real new Scooby-Doo movie in a while. It's like a little over an hour long. And it was also very much touted to be like the first one where the monsters are actually real.
Okay.
And it's not as if not like 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, where it was all mainly about like Scrappy-Doo and all that. This was the original. This is taking the original team from the 1960s cartoon, modernizing them, putting them in the late 90s. But for the first time, they were actually going to be going up against a monster that was actually real. And,
it wasn't Old Man Johnson under that mask?
Exactly. And they did a couple of really interesting, really cool twists with it that they actually do keep you guessing with it. And I had a lot of fun with it.
Okay, that's really interesting, especially because for the most, I know that like the last, oh good Lord, now 25 years have been they've been on this constant rehab tour of Scooby-Doo, trying to find a way to make it really click with modern audiences.
I don't know. Ever since ever since the live action movies with Freddie Prinze and everybody else, they just have not been successful at trying to just connect Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, well, especially after Scoob was released right at the worst possible time of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then ended up it just ended up getting like shunted over to HBO because they couldn't do anything else with it.
And then the Velma, the Mindy Kaling's Velma show that just pissed everybody off.
It did. It pissed a lot of people off.
On both sides of the
right.
The
I
aisle.
sat firmly in the middle of it, where I'm like, okay, fine, get upset about it, but anything beyond like just slight rage, you're just wasting your time. Please go touch grass.
Yeah. But they had for guest cast, they had Adrienne Barbeau, Tara Strong, Jim Cummings, Cam Clark, and Mark Hamill.
Okay.
And I believe you can find it on YouTube if you want to. I believe it's streaming on Boomerang, but you can find it on YouTube, but like only in like 21 4-minute clips.
Okay, so all right, I found it here. Scooby-Doo. All right, so Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is 1998.
Yeah, they did a Return to Zombie Island. I'd never watched that one, and I've heard it's not as good.
So the voice cast is Scott Innes, Billy West, Mary Kay Bergman, who was the original voice of all the women on South Park.
Yeah.
Frank Welker. Yep, there you go. Tara Strong, B.J. Ward, Adrian Barbeau, and not the Adrian Barbeau bot. Jim Cummings, Mark Hamill. Yeah, interesting. And yeah, currently it's only showing available to buy on Amazon. But again, like I believe you, it's probably like it's there on YouTube somewhere.
Oh no, I actually looked it up earlier this morning. Actually earlier this afternoon, and yeah, 21 different segments, each one about 4 to 5 minutes in length. But you can watch the whole thing.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So moving on, Dissect That Horror also brings up Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Wallace and Gromit in their first full-length motion picture.
Gromit, old pal, I'll need assistance.
The gardens of England are in danger.
This is a disaster. I have the most terrible rabbit problem.
From a terror so fierce,
Oh, they must be breeding like, well, rabbits.
it will petrify your parsnips.
If you ask me, this was arson.
Curdle your carrots.
Arson? Aye, someone arsing around.
And chill you to the marrow. Our only hope is Wallace and Gromit.
How on earth would they ever catch such a big rabbit?
With a big trap.
By Jove, he's got it.
Oh, so good.
It is it's Wallace and Gromit. I mean, I love Aardman. I just truly love Aardman animation. This is one I haven't watched in a long time, though. I think I watched it when it came out on home video, and then I don't think I've gone back to watch it at all.
Oh, I saw it in theaters and I have it on disc.
Okay.
I love this one. This one's so good.
It is. It's excellent.
It is wicked. It is wicked good. It's such a fun movie.
It's definitely worthy of Wallace and Gromit, and being their first like full length Wallace and Gromit film. It was cracking good.
Never seen it myself.
Okay, interesting footnote too.
Oh man,
it's on Netflix.
I've never really seen any of Aardman's stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Mike, really? Oh, this is so good.
There's some good stuff, Mike. You've got, Chicken Run, and the upcoming sequel, Chicken Run 2. We got rid of the Nazi this time.
Yeah, I'm not big on Chicken Run because of Mel Gibson.
Well, you can, but this is back when Mel Gibson was still kind of like covertly.
I know, but he is
showing up.
He's tainted all of this stuff for me.
I understand that. It's still. I think it's
fair.
still worth it.
That's fair.
Shaun the Sheep.
Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah.
Shaun the Sheep. Shaun the Sheep.
But Wallace and Gromit is on. Curse of the Were-Rabbit is actually on Netflix right now. I would highly recommend it. And interesting footnote too. At the Academy Awards for Best Feature Animated Film, it beat out Corpse Bride.
Really?
Yes.
Yep.
It was the first year that the three animated nominees, none of which were CG. They were all traditional animation, and they're either stop motion or traditional like hand-drawn animation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I'm actually taking a look real quick to see what the third movie in that was, because it's just not coming off my. It's just not coming to my head real quick, so I have to look at that. But feel free to continue talking about Curse the Were-Rabbit.
I can't really say much.
Oh my god, everybody in it's so brilliant. Like the voice acting is fantastic.
Right, it's that sly kind of British English humor.
There's just so much.
All right, I'm in the 2005.
There's just so much
right now.
The dog searching through the change purse to fire up the rides again, so they can keep chasing each other.
I'm trying to find this.
Okay.
Keep going. Keep talking. Okay. Oh, you know what else it beat? Mike, you're not going to be happy about this.
Huh?
It beat
This
Howl's
is one
Moving
of the-
Castle.
Huh?
It beat Howl's Moving Castle.
I mean, I love Studio Ghibli, but that's not. I mean, that's a good one. It's not one of the best, but it's a really good one.
Okay. So, anything else you have to say about Chris the Were-Rabbit before we move on to Dissect That Horror's last film?
Okay. You know what? You've reminded me that I should watch that this year. Thank you.
Well, you own it, and it's on Netflix. Boom, bada boom, bada boom. So let's conclude Dissect That Horror with one that we definitely have to park on for a little bit. Coraline.
Coraline Jones always dreamed of finding a better world. A world more exciting than this. But never did she imagine that she'd discover it in her own home. A parallel place
We've been waiting for you, Coraline.
where parents are always fun
I love your garden! Can't believe you did this!
and everything is so good
What's shaking, baby?
it just can't be real.
Mom?
You're just in time for supper, dear.
You're not my mother. My mother doesn't have...
Buttons? Do you like them?
Also, Leica Animation. It's Henry Selick, so it's from the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, the guy who actually did all the work for The Nightmare Before
Tim
Christmas. What's that?
Right.
I keep forgetting.
Well, Tim Burton came up with the story only, but
it's become so associated with him. It's like, oh, because it's that
was.
style. It's that Tim Burton style.
Right, but I didn't realize this until, and we're going to throw a plug out here for next episode's co-host M. I didn't realize how little he actually had to do in the production of that. And this really was Henry Selick's baby. So to see him kind of get his, get more accolades to Coraline, which was a movie that kind of came and went when it came out in 2009. It just
but it's become a bit of a cult classic. If you
it has
think
staying
about it.
power. It has absolute staying power. This movie terrified the shit out of my son when I showed it to him a couple of years ago.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Really?
Oh my God.
Soph loves it. It didn't scare her, but she loves it.
Yes, but Joe, my son is not Soph's age. He's a year younger than TJ.
That's true, yeah.
And I showed it to him like 3 years ago.
Also, I feel like Joe, your kids are more resilient. You were talking about taking them to see Violent Night.
And well, they enjoyed that, so
okay.
Awesome.
I did take them to see it. I did take them to see it. They loved it. So
excellent. Yeah,
excellent.
I haven't gotten that far yet. Scarlett and I just started watch. So Scarlett's 15 now, so I can like watch actual horror movies with her. So she's gonna be sitting in with me while they watch all the movies that Mike and I are reviewing this month for the retro reviews. But yeah, no, Coraline. I mean, and you think about it too. I mean, watching Coraline at 7 years old, like he had done, it's similar to like how we perceived The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Watching that at that age.
Right. Exactly.
I've actually never seen Coraline. Those
Really?
buttons creep the hell out of me.
Well, that's the point. That's kind of the point. Yeah. That's kind of the whole
I know
point,
that is the point. Yes, and it is very successful.
Right.
I'm kind of a chicken shit. I don't know if you know this.
That's okay. But and you know what? In all honesty, Mike, too, there's like I don't remember as a kid or as a teenager watching horror films or anything like that where people like, oh, eye trauma. I know so many people now who it's just like it's a deal breaker. That it's just like anything with eye trauma they cannot watch. And I even though it's animated, I can understand that with like the button eyes and everything. The Simpsons did have quite a good stop motion parody of it, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where Lisa crossed over to an ideal family, and all she had to do was essentially just sew the buttons on her eyes.
Oh,
right. Right, but imagine exposing your kid to body horror like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, overall, I think it's a fantastic film. It's got a great voice cast. It looks gorgeous. Quite honestly, it's in the running that this might be a better looking movie than Kubo. If we're just, seeing as how this has essentially become like a, honorary show, it might be neck and neck, quite honestly. I mean,
I love Kubo, though.
Mike, like you said,
I love Kubo too.
They make a quality product.
Yeah.
But it's
never make
a
any
tough
money.
call. It really is. I don't know. Anyone else have any thoughts on Coraline? Katherine, you've seen this, right?
Nope.
You haven't?
I tried to watch it I have not watched it yet. I tried to watch it at a friend's place, and we had a technical problem, so we didn't manage to watch it.
All right. I'm taking a look real quick. Where are we streaming? Coraline is streaming on Max.
Excellent. I can do that.
So definitely do yourself a favor. A lot of great voices on here. You got Dakota Fanning, Terry Hatcher. Okay, so they can't all be winners. John Hodgman, Jennifer Saunders, Dawn French.
Terry Hatcher survived Dean Cain.
Yeah, but she
counts for something.
She pissed off Howie Long. So we also have Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French. So we got French and Saunders back. We got David Keith, who voices the cat. Ian McShane. This is a good voice cast.
French and Saunders were both in Death on the Nile as well.
Yes, they were. That's like their first live action appearance together since their show ended.
So
but yeah, I would recommend this. I would definitely recommend watching this. I thought it was a fantastic movie.
Cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. Do them a favor, please, and go follow their content. Go follow them on Twitter. I'll drop their handles in our post show chat, so you'll be able to see them as well. So go give them a follow. Thank you all so much. Did you guys have any feedback with this one? You did.
I didn't.
Oh, okay, Katherine, did you say you had some? I think the mute monster got Katherine.
Oh, she did say it was laggy, so
she was experiencing some technical issues. So, well, let's move on to some of the stuff on the list here.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, Katherine, I'm sorry, you're back. Did you have any feedback from anybody?
No, I didn't have any feedback from anybody. I just hate my internet right now.
Gotcha. Fair. Totally fair. All right. Well, let's check down what is left on this list here. I kind of knew social media was going to really help us out with this, but let's take a look at the last couple that we have on our list here. Katherine, you wanted to talk a little bit about the Garfield Halloween special.
Observe carefully, Odie. I'll teach you some of the finer points of trick-or-treating. Gimme.
Oh, how cute. Here you go, kids.
Methinks your be a mite stingy with your candy, miss. If you don't reconsider your contribution, I'll give your living room drapes a taste of me broadsword. Thank you. 1,000 blessings upon your home, ma'am.
Yes, I do love this so much. I remembered it from watching it on TV, and when I found it in like a collection on DVD with like the Thanksgiving and Christmas specials, which I didn't know very well, but the Halloween one I'd watched multiple times, recorded, and so I bought it, and I love it.
Same
And
here.
I can't believe it's only like 20 odd minutes. It's so much story in only 20 odd minutes.
Yeah. And you get the amazing Lorenzo music as Garfield.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was one. So I remember seeing this as a kid, like the one time I remember airing on TV. And then about 3 years ago, it was Halloween 2020. The kids couldn't go trick or treating, so we invited my we invited my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and their kids over to just kind of have a Halloween party. And my brother-in-law, Matt, was like, "Oh, we got to watch the Garfield Halloween special." And Danielle, my sister-in-law, was like, "Yes, we need to watch the Garfield Halloween special." So I ended up renting it on Amazon. And I'm like, this is actually scarier than I remember it being. And I was a little puss as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't remember being this traumatized by this.
I will just always.
Oh yeah, those ghosts.
My favorite part, it will always be the one part that always sticks in my mind is just Garfield going up to the door and saying, "Gimme."
Yeah. Lorenzo music, right? Like I could hear that in his voice.
Yeah. He was and always will be the best Garfield.
Yeah, versus Bill Murray.
Oh yeah.
Oh, twisted web we'd weave. So Joe, any thoughts on this? You're quiet about the Garfield Halloween. Have you not seen the Garfield Halloween special?
I saw it once when I was a kid, and I just kind of forgot about it.
Oh, gotcha.
It wasn't one of those things that stood out to me, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny?
Fair enough.
When I think about it, there aren't a whole lot of like truly great Halloween specials. I mean, we've done episodes upon episodes of great Christmas specials. We've talked about 2 Halloween specials, 3 if you're counting the Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Right.
I don't know. I may have to watch this again at some point. I'm sure YouTube's got it somewhere.
I'm fairly certain. In fact,
yeah.
I'm almost positive because I believe I did look it up earlier today.
Okay. Excellent. So, Mike, you put one on here as well. Toy Story of Terror.
Yeah.
He's right behind you! Hey, down in front! Oh, sorry.
The Toy Story gang is going on a trip.
You know, we have a little saying around here. At the Sleep Well Motel, you're gonna sleep well.
Of terror.
You mean we have to stay here all night?
Bum, bum, bum. We'll be back on the road before you know it. Where's Potato Head?
And so it begins.
This place is haunted.
What? It's haunted? Ah! Ew, I stepped in something.
Come on, guys. This isn't scary.
Combat Carl's seen things. Combat Carl's learned you gotta keep moving or else they find you.
Are you Combat Carl?
Which I hadn't watched until just about maybe a few hours ago.
You hadn't seen it before?
Nope.
Really?
I really haven't seen a whole lot of the Toy Story shorts.
Okay.
But I put this on there because I knew of it, and I was like, when I got home, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch Toy Story of Terror. And so I did.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, the first half is definitely a little bit more horror bent. The second half is more traditional Toy Story stuff.
Right. It's interesting because well, first of all, it introduced us to Combat Carl.
Combat Carl knows what he's doing.
Voiced by Carl Weathers.
And Combat Carl Jr. Also voiced by Carl Weathers.
Yes. Yeah, there's like the large size. There's like the full size like original G.I. Joe Combat Carl, and then there's his
action figure.
1980s G.I. Joe equivalent Combat Carl.
And yeah, I mean, it was nice because it actually touched a lot more on Jesse's claustrophobia.
Yeah, which I love that they brought that. I love that someone's trauma was brought back, but I do appreciate that they kept that character beat in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's not my favorite. No, you know my favorite is Small Fry.
Yeah.
Small Fry is the best Toy Story short ever. And if you haven't watched that yet, by all means, you need to watch that like right now. Hit the pause button, go to Disney Plus and watch it. God damn it.
I agree.
It's so good. It is so good. Have you guys seen Toy Story of Terror?
I've seen it a couple of times, and I really enjoyed it. I've watched the Toy Story shorts, so I appreciate them for what they are.
Katherine?
I don't know if I have. I can't remember.
Okay. They stop at a motel because they got a flat, and then all the toys start disappearing. Ooh. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up, now that we're on, the subject of Disney again, but like some of their, like the Skeleton Dance and Trick or Treat, which is the Huey, Dewey, Louie one where Donald is being king asshole to the kids, like just playing pranks on them and stealing their candy. And then a witch has to get involved and they have to bring witchcraft into it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and there's also Ghost Hunters, which is that's a Mickey, Donald, Goofy.
Oh, it was also what was Lonely Ghosts?
Was that it?
The one, like one of the early ones, the Lonesome Ghosts, I believe.
Okay.
Or something along that lines. I know they were going to originally tie that into like an early draft of Haunted Mansion before Walt died.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those, I mean, if you go to any of your streaming services, you'll be able to find like all of their Halloween collections. And you're bound to find some animated stuff in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting how little like true Halloween animated there is. I mean, we're running an hour before edits here, and it's kind of crazy.
Well, the thing is about Halloween, it's especially lately, it's no longer really a kid's holiday anymore.
True.
Now instead of just being a couple of days at the end of the month, you have adults who
it's somebody's personality, like your sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Aww.
She wouldn't deny it. So
right, exactly.
But no, it's no longer a kid's holiday anymore. Where the kids go out and get candy and maybe get scared a little bit. Now it's just this whole adult thing.
Right. And that's it. But you're absolutely right about that. I mean, I feel like some kids, like my son, still gets excited because hey, free candy, and all he's got to deal with are the dad taxes, which by the way, Clinton levels of error levels of dad tax.
Oh, I know. Well, my kids don't trick or treat anymore, but yeah, no, I know.
Oh, teenagers don't trick or treat?
No.
Wow.
No, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go last year, and so wanted to go, but she just wanted to go hang out with her friends.
Right. Exactly. So speaking of the adults who just they have made Halloween, the month of October, their personality. I saw this meme, and I feel like it's some good advice here. If that hot goth witch chick suddenly gives you a chance this month, don't fall for that shit. It's sacrifice season. Run, motherfucker. Trust me.
Yeah. Stay strong, King.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered probably one of the most just blatant cash grabs of Halloween cartoons ever, and it came out like 6 years ago. Did anybody actually see the animated David S. Pumpkins Halloween special?
No.
Oh boy. Dave, are you familiar with David S. Pumpkins?
No.
Okay. Joe, Mike, David S. Pumpkins?
Nope.
Joe?
Nope, can't say that I have. Nope.
Okay.
It's your own personal hell, Andy.
Oh, yeah, okay. So the Halloween episode in 2016 of Saturday Night Live, Tom Hanks is the host. And they have this house of horrors, which is kind of like a haunted elevator where every floor has got spooks and there's 100 different floors. And this couple like sees a whole bunch of like scary stuff, and then they arrive at this thing, and it's Tom Hanks in a wig with a white streak through it, and he's wearing a jack-o'-lantern jacket, and he's got these two dancers that are skeleton. They're dressed as skeletons, and he first introduces himself as David Pumpkins.
How's it hanging? I'm David Pumpkins, and I'm gonna scare the hell out of you. Any questions?
Scared and speechless? Oh, no, I'm just trying to wrap my head around David Pumpkins? I mean, are we supposed to know who that is?
Yeah, it was just a guy in a pumpkin suit with two b-boy skeletons. I don't get how that's scary.
And they do see a couple of things. They come back, and David Pumpkins comes back. And then it happens again. Like, I'm David S. Pumpkins. Wow, they really invested a lot in there. They're giving him a middle initial. And it was a huge hit. Like David S. Pumpkins became this viral hit. So they jumped on it and shat out some cheap animation for the following Halloween. Oh, it's bad. All I can remember is that a poorly animated David S. Pumpkins and his poorly animated skeleton buddies just wander around a neighborhood.
Yeah.
But Tom Hanks did come back to do the intro.
Oh, well, good for him.
It's Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is still doing Toy Story stuff, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. Well, actually,
he's a good sport. He hosted an episode of Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Actually, I believe going forward, Tom Hanks will not do Woody, but his brother will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So anyway, anybody else have any that they're thinking of, or are we pretty much just heading back home on this one, with their fun-sized, defined fun, Snickers, and
yeah, there's nothing fun about fun-sized Snickers.
I'm going home to reap the rest of what's left at my house.
Okay, yeah, exactly, because you don't get that many kids in your neighborhood. If it were fun size, it'd be the size of my fist.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have fun with that.
I remember doing that one year. Like I took like a photograph of the fun size, and I put just for scale reference, I put a quarter next to it.
Oh,
ain't nothing fun about that.
Nope.
So anyway, well, thank you everybody who contributed. Thank you for also helping us consist of the bulk of our conversation tonight. This was fun. And I hope everybody has a great Halloween. Did anybody introducing themselves to any new movies this Halloween season? Joe, Mike, Katherine?
Not yet, no.
Not yet, no.
Yep.
Not this year. Last year I watched. I won a contest at my office, and I got some cool movies like The Witch and It Follows and some other stuff which I hadn't seen before, and those were a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, I won a copy of Zombieland on DVD at the library last year for this really terrible take on Mystery Science Theater that they did at the library with local, and I'm using finger quotes here, comedians.
Oh.
Nothing quite like local
already...
humor that has to explain all the jokes.
Yeah.
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh, you didn't already own a copy of Zombieland?
I did not.
I did.
Okay, well, I've already seen Zombieland. I didn't feel the need to own it, but now I have a copy that I won because I won trivia. Because, Geek Salad. So yeah, if you're interested in listening to some thoughts on some movies, Mike and I on our YouTube channel are going to be doing some retro reviews in the month of October for horror from the 70s, which in my eyes is maybe the best year for horror because it was auteurs doing a horror. Think about that. You think about how Kubrick was technically 80, but Kubrick was doing horror. De Palma was doing horror. John Carpenter was just, cutting his teeth on it. But Mike and I got 4 movies all lined up. We've got some reviews coming up this month. Yeah, so you check that out on our YouTube channel, which is Geek Salad Podcast. Any other thoughts, guys, before we wrap up and sign off?
Nope.
Excellent.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Joe?
Nope.
Okay, good. I didn't get a harumph out of you. So anyway, yeah. Thank you again, everybody who gave us your stuff. Thank you, folks. Go follow them. They're all amazing content creators. So please do that. If you want more of this Geek Salad goodness, you can follow us on the dead named Twitter at Geek Salad Radio, as well as Blue Sky and Threads. We are also at Geek Salad Radio there. We're on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. You can also check out our videos at the aforementioned Geek Salad Podcast YouTube channel. And you can, if you're new to the show, hi, welcome, happy Halloween. We do this, well, now we're doing it every month, but you can check out our back episodes wherever you get your podcast, Stitcher. God, I said Stitcher again. Stitcher's gone. Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, which apparently is also going away soon. God damn it.
Yeah, it's going to YouTube. YouTube Music.
God. But you could check that out there. We'll also post in our Twitter feed. We will post our link tree, which can take you to everything.
Yep.
So you can just get to it wherever. So anyway, folks, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
Fuck Xfinity.
And that's Katherine.
Yep.
Line. Really feel.
Go forth and be nerdful. We will talk to you later. Happy Halloween, everybody.
So each Halloween, the Great Pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch and gives Halloween presents to all the girls and boys. For some reason, he's never actually appeared to me personally, but this year will be different. Arise! Arise!